Hello and welcome to Crime Bytes, the show where we talk about some truly bizarre and disturbing crime cases. My name is Liz and today is True Crime Tuesday. Today is actually going to be a part 2 from last week's episode featuring Dena Schlosser. Still don't know how to say that name completely. So for this one, we're going to tell our story a little bit differently from our child's perspective. And you'll see why when we get to the end of it. I hope you enjoy it. God Told Me To, part 2. Give me a second to just get into character. Hey there, my name is Noah, like the art guy in the Bible. My birthday is February 26, 1994, and right now I am 6 years old. My favorite thing to do is draw, and my favorite things to draw are butterflies and rainbows. My mom is really sad lately, but she wasn't always sad. I think the pictures of rainbows and butterflies really cheer her up. I remember when I was younger, she seemed happier. She's gonna have another baby, a little girl. We're all really excited. My mom met my dad when they were both 24 years old, and after they were boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 years, then they got married. On April 17th, 1993 to be exact. Before my mom met my dad, she was a nurse. Then when she had me, he got a job in Florida, and we moved there for about 5 years before we moved back to the Houston area in Texas. I don't really remember Florida that much, but I was curious about the alligators. When we moved back to Houston, we moved into a bus that our pastor sold us. I didn't like how small it was, but it did mean I could play outside more, which I liked. Mommy and Daddy started having kids right away because they wanted to have a lot, and they had me right after they got married, then my brothers. And now we're gonna have a sister. The doctor is a little worried about my mommy though. I don't know why having a baby would make anyone sad. I thought having babies made everyone happy. Maybe it's a lot to worry about when you already are so worried. I really like bugs though, especially butterflies. I like to follow them and imagine where they might be going. Last week I turned 7. Mommy says I need to be the responsible big brother, especially now that we have another baby on the way. Anyways, me and my brothers are homeschooled and I like it. I get to draw a lot. Also, our family really loves God. We don't always go to church, but we have Bible studies at our place 3 times a week. I think our pastor wants children to be perfect, but it doesn't seem practical. My sister was born on November 30th, and I love her so much. She is so cute. It's really cool to have another girl in the house, and we still outnumber them, so it's okay. Mom's been going to the hospital a lot more though, and sometimes she even has to stay overnight. Grandma comes to stay with us a lot when Dad works, and I don't really understand why. I love her though. It makes me happy. Mommy says that my brothers and I don't respect her enough. I try to be a good example, but it seems like I always do something wrong. Today something scary happened. My sister almost choked because my mommy gave her solid food and she doesn't even have teeth yet. I don't know why she would do that. Maybe she got confused. Thank God Mary is okay. I'm worried about Mommy though. We all went outside to play and I found some worms. Today my grandpa died. We're all really sad. I don't know how much more Mommy can take. She is already too sad. I wish I could help, but sometimes I feel like I'm just in the way. Today, Mommy filled the tub up and was walking around, but almost like she wasn't looking at anything. I think dazed is the word. It was weird because we were all clean. I said, Mommy, can I go outside? Like 5 times before she heard me, and she mumbled something. I couldn't understand, so I drew her a rainbow. She said the characters on the TV were laughing at her, but that my rainbow was really pretty and that she was sorry she was a bad mommy. I don't think she's a bad mommy. Today I woke up feeling weird, like something bad was going to happen, but I don't really know why. Dad's off to work and Grandma will be here soon. I hear the water running, but I think I'm going to just sit in my room and draw for a bit. It's really quiet. Like too quiet. Did everyone leave and forget me? I hear a bang. Mom? I think it came from the bathroom. What's going on? When I get to the bathroom, I see my baby sister Mary floating in the tub and she's face down. I flip her over, but it doesn't look like she's breathing. My mom appears in the doorway, looking a little crazed. Mom? What's going on? I look at my mom, I look at my dead sister, and it clicks. I run, but I'm not fast enough. My mom tackles me and drags me to the bathroom. I try and fight, but she's too strong. She tells me she's sorry and that I'm going to heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. I want to live. Mom, stop. It's useless and the water fills my lungs and I try and tell her to stop. I want to live. I try to fight. I raise my head. This isn't what I want, but she's too strong. I stop fighting. I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry it wasn't good enough. Andrea Yates would then pull her baby out of the tub and lay her next to her 3 other sons, John, Paul, and Luke, on her bed and cover them with a sheet. She would leave poor Noah in the bathtub. She would then call her husband and say, "It's time." He would ask her if any of the kids were hurt, and she would respond with all of them. It was then that he knew the worst had happened. She would then call 911, and here is a clip from that call.
What's your name? Andrea Yates. What's the problem? I just need him to come. Is your husband there? No. So what's the problem? I need him to come. I need to know why we're coming, ma'am. Is he there standing next to you? She? Are you having disturbance? Are you ill or what? Yes, I'm ill. You need an ambulance? No, I need a police officer. You have sent an ambulance.
So eerie. So on August 9th, 2001, Texas announced that it would be seeking the death penalty, and on September 22nd, she was found competent to stand trial. Then on March 15th, 2002, she was found guilty of 2 counts of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 40 years. A key factor was a testimony that a few weeks before the murder, a similar Law and Order episode aired where the mother drowns her children and then is acquitted by reason of insanity. Part of the argument was that she saw this and thought that she could get away with killing her children in the same manner. So apparently no one bothered to check the validity of this for a few years, because on January 6th of 2005, there is an appeal and her conviction is reversed. It turns out that the testimony about the Law and Order show was completely false. There was no such episode. There was one later based on her case, but not before. This ended up reversing her conviction, and then on January 9th, 2006, she faced another trial and was found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was then moved out to the same mental health facility that Dena Schlosser, the woman from last week's episode who cut her baby's arms off, was a resident. Not only that, she was Dena's roommate for a little bit. She is eligible for review every year, but has not sought release. Andrea apparently systematically planned to use her hour of alone time that she was getting from her husband with her children to drown her children, although it was advised by her psychiatrist that she not be left alone with them in her current mental state for the time being. She would say that it was God, and then she would say that it was Satan who told her to do it. She would claim that she was not a fit mother and that because of that, her children were destined for hell. She seemed to honestly think that killing them would prevent this. She was on an antipsychotic that was working for her before she went off of it against her doctor's orders to have her daughter marry. This and the death of her father, in combination with the teachings of her fundamentalist pastor, Michael Peter Woronecki, who was very big on parents ensuring the salvation of their children, all led to this lethal ending. In her own words, it was the 7th deadly sin. My children weren't righteous. They stumbled because I was evil. The way I was raising them, they could never be saved. They were doomed to perish in the fires of hell. She also told her jail psychiatrist that Satan influenced her children and made them more disobedient. This story is so sad on so many levels as well. There were many signs and warnings that Andrea and her husband ignored, or suggestions from doctors that they just didn't follow that led up to this. What it boils down to is she was not mentally fit to be left alone with her children. She was told that, her husband was told that, and he let it happen. In fact, it was his idea. So unbelievably tragic. And that's going to do it for today's story. But as always, let's end today on a more positive note. So today's feel-good story is about a bus driver in Texas. So on August 22nd, 2002, Dallas was hit by an unusual amount of rain. Siblings Gabriel and Trinity were outside playing when they were caught up in the flood waters, and neither of them could swim. Their mother watched in horror with their 4-year-old sibling as her boyfriend almost got swept away trying to save them. Luckily, help was on the way from an unlikely source. A school bus that was luckily handicap accessible had taken a detour down their street out of their normal route due to flooding. When they saw the man and 2 children trapped in the flood waters, the driver, Simone, and her monitor, Takendria, acted fast. Simone pulled the bus at an angle to try and deter the waters, and then the women used the safety belt extenders used to help the students in the wheelchairs to create a rope to pull them onto the bus to safety. In her own words, it had to be God to send me that way because I don't normally go that way. I just love stories like that. Anyhow, guys, let me know what you think about today's stories in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe and stay safe out there. Bye!